everyone, my name is Bracian Feliciano and I will be presenting why minimum wage is good for businesses. This slide explains the debate over raising the federal minimum wage from $7.25 to $10.10. This reading right here argues that many full-time workers still live in poverty and that raising wages is an issue of fairness and economic stability. It also highlights why the issue matters. And that being said, would be that millions rely on low-wage jobs. Raising the wage can help reduce poverty, and most Americans support the change as it promotes economic fairness so working people can live with dignity. And here are some of the four main key points as to why this is important. That is number one, being millions of workers depend on low-wage jobs. Number two, raising the minimum wage is tied to reducing poverty. Public support is overwhelming, and economic fairness is a central theme. How raising the minimum wage impacts businesses. So higher wages reduce employee turnover, which saves companies money on hiring and training. They also boost productivity because workers feel more motivated and valued. When workers earn more money, they spend more in the local economy, which helps businesses grow. Companies that raise wages also gain better reputations and stronger customer loyalty. And finally, a higher wage floor creates fair competition by preventing businesses from being undercut by those relying on low pay. How raising the minimum wage impacts society. First, it helps reduce poverty by making it easier for families to afford basic needs like rent, food, and education. It also strengthens the middle class, which supports a healthier and more stable economy. Raising the wage promotes fairness and equality, especially for women who hold many low-wage jobs. It encourages civic engagement by motivating people to participate more in discussions, voting, and sharing their experiences. Finally, a higher wage reduces dependence on government assistance, helping create a more self-sufficient society. Here are some ethical issues in this minimum wage debate, such as economic justice, dignity of work, corporate and governmental responsibility, and economic freedom versus regulation. And on to the next slide, you can also see a few more ethical issues. And now some ethical framework applied, such as utilitarianism. Why raise the minimum wage? Because in a prosperous country, individuals who work full-time should not be forced to choose between essentials like housing, food, and childcare. In conclusion, hardworking Americans deserve a fair chance to succeed.
Aloha everyone, my name is Fadlin and today I'll be presenting on why minimum wage laws can be harmful to businesses. We'll explore the issue, examine ethical dilemmas, and then debate both sides of the argument. What is minimum wage? Minimum wage laws set a baseline for pay. While they're designed to protect workers, they also impose costs and constraints on businesses. Employers must meet a legal wage floor regardless of productivity, which can disrupt hiring and budgeting decisions. Impact on business. For businesses, especially small ones, mandated wage increases can mean cutting staff, raising prices, or automating jobs. Higher labor costs reduces profitability and flexibility. This can lead to fewer entry-level positions and lower investment in employee development. Impact on society. Society may see fewer opportunities for young or low-skilled workers. When businesses reduce hiring or automate roles, unemployment can rise. Additionally, higher wages often lead to increased consumer prices, which affects everyone, especially low-income households. Ethical issues. The ethical dilemma is whether protecting workers through wage laws outweighs the harm to businesses and job creation. Is it fair to mandate wages that some employers cannot afford? And what happens when those mandates lead to fewer jobs overall? Ethical frameworks. Different ethical frameworks offer different perspectives. Utilitarianism asks, does minimum wage benefit the majority? If it causes job loss, maybe not. Deontology emphasizes duty, but does fairness mean equal pay or sustainable employment? Virtue ethics encourages balance. A good employer pays fairly but also keeps the business viable. And free market ethics argues wages should be set by supply and demand, not regulation. So the debate starts with yes, minimum wage is necessary. Supporters argue minimum wage is essential for fairness and stability. It protects workers from exploitation, reduces poverty, and improves employee loyalty. They cite studies show that higher wages can reduce turnover and increase consumer spending, which benefits the economy. But also, no, minimum wage hurts business. Opponents argue that minimum wage laws hurt businesses, especially small ones. They raise costs, reduce hiring flexibility, and encourage automation. When businesses can't afford mandated wages, they may cut jobs or close altogether, harming the very workers the law aims to protect. In conclusion, while minimum wage laws aim to protect workers, they often hurt businesses and reduce opportunities. Ethical frameworks highlight the tension between fairness and freedom. A more flexible approach, one that supports both workers and employers, may be more effective than rigid wage laws.